Welcome back to the V.O.C. YouTube channel. First week of NFL football is upon us. We've got our taste of college. Now NFL starts back up. This is the best time of the year, right? Saturday football, Sunday football, a little bit of Monday. The weekend is starting to be filled with objects. You tell people, look, I have stuff going on. Can now talk to you. Football's on. In today's video, we're going to go through divisions, who wins them, who makes the playoffs, who wins MVP, who wins Defensive Player of the Year, who wins Coach of the Year, and then my Super Bowl teams, and then lastly my Super Bowl picks. So let's jump into it. When I went through the predictor thing, I did a record schedule predictor online to get who I thought was going to win each division. And so, when I went through it, you think interesting things, and a lot of the times or at least for me, is I get a lot of teams that are really, really good and teams that are really, really bad. Not a lot in the middle. So it's interesting to look at that and what you think projecting from a year to year, not just a week-to-week basis. So let's jump into the AFC. In the AFC North, I'm going to start from bottom up. So in the AFC North, I have the team being in last place, the Cleveland Browns at 8-9. Look, I think the division's very tough. I don't fully trust Deshaun Watson and their team as a whole. They're a good team, but not a great team. And in their division, I think they'll get left behind. And then I have the Steelers at 9-8. Kind of for the same reasons. Kenny Pickett, I think they have a very good defense. Just don't know about their offense completely yet. But I think Mike Tomlin is going to continue on of being 500, at least as a coach, and with a winning record at 9-8. And now to win a division, it was kind of tough to look at who I thought could win the division, who I didn't think could win the division when I looked at the Bengals and the Ravens. I think the Bengals are just slightly ahead of the Ravens, so I have the Ravens finishing second at 11-6. Lamar needs to be fully healthy. He hasn't been the past couple of years. I like their defense. I like the weapons they've added on offense. I just don't know with the history of Lamar Jackson the last couple of years, him not being healthy. I decided to pick the Bengals. I trust Joe Burrow. I trust the offense. The defense is just good enough to help them and not hurt them in most games. So that's why I'm going with the Bengals to win the AFC North. All right, on to the AFC East. I had the last team in the AFC East is the Patriots. I just don't know what it is about the Patriots. I just haven't understood what they've done since Brady's left. It showed how much Tom meant to that organization and how much how much more you need a quarterback and how valued a quarterback really is for a team. So I have the Patriots finishing 6-11, 7-10. I think Bill O'Brien coming in helps the offense, but they stunted Mac Jones' growth last year. And then I have the Dolphins finishing 9-8. A lot of people have them in the playoffs. I don't trust Tua's health. Jalen Ramsey being hurt, a team with a lot of talent, but I just don't trust Tua's health and Tua to win some big games when I look at the other two quarterbacks in the division. And this was a closer division than the AFC North. I have the Jets finishing 11-6, but making the playoffs. And then I have the Bills winning the division at 12-5. The Jets, I really like the Jets. I think their defense is one of the best in football. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback. We know all those things about Aaron Rodgers. But in the big games, will he do it? Can he do it? He feels like he's been re-energized. He's felt good. So that would be interesting. I am sipping the Kool-Aid when it comes to the Jets, but not for them to win the division, but them to make the playoffs and be a very good team. What I like about the Bills is I know what they are. Proven they lost some pieces on defense, but I still think they're very good. They get Von Miller back after 4 weeks in. Makes them very good. And I like Josh Allen. It's comfortable. They've done it for the last couple of years. You know what you have. So that's why I picked them to win it. All right, when I look at the AFC West, this one can be very competitive year to year or an imbalance, right? The last team I have the Raiders. I just don't fully understand, kind of like the Patriots, what the Raiders are doing. Jimmy G, getting rid of Waller, even though I do like Michael Mayer. I just don't know how much they're going to use him as a rookie. Devontae Adams, I feel like is kind of just stuck there. The defense, I just don't know what they have as a whole, so I picked them to go last. The Broncos, I have them at 9-8. I don't think They're going to be better than they were last year with Sean Payton. Russell Wilson will be better. I think they're another full year out. Year 2 of Sean Payton, I think, would be better than year 1. And then I look at the Chargers, 10-7. They have the talent. What can they be? Don't fully trust Stanley as a coach, but Justin Herbert needs to take that next step up. But when you're playing the Chiefs in the division, the Broncos are a little bit better. The Raiders are going to give you problems. They're going to be a team that gives you problems. Even though I don't think they're going to be very good, they're going to give you problems. And I look at the Chiefs. Look, I said it last year. Until you beat the man, you aren't the man. And, you have to do these things to be the man. The Chiefs are still reigning number 1, right? I have them to win 14 games, go 14-3. Travis Kelce hurt, scares me a little bit, but not a torn ACL. If anything, the first month of the year, he'll be out. Hurts me for fantasy football, but it is what it is. I'm more concerned with the Chris Jones holdout. If I had a problem with the Chiefs, Chris Jones wants a new deal, defensive tackle. He does a lot for that team. They should pay the man so he's there to help them potentially try and repeat. But in the AFC West, until you beat the man, you aren't the man. In the AFC South, I like the Jaguars. Titans they're wishy-washy. I like Vrabel a lot. And then I have the Colts and the Texans where it's like, we're just fighting for a top pick in the draft. The Texans, years out. I like Stroud. I like Will Anderson. But you're a little whiles out because they were so awful. It's going to take a lot. The Colts, Jonathan Taylor's situation, he's not going to play the first 4 games. After that, he's probably traded. Anthony Richardson's going to be a rookie. He's going to go through a lot of growing pains. And as a whole, I don't know what they have. So I don't think they're going to be very good. Titans, I was wishy-washy on, are the Titans and the Colts kind of the same? But I think the Titans will be a little bit better than the Colts, but not by much. I don't think the Titans are going to make the playoffs. I think we all know what they are, and I think it's going to catch up to them. To win the AFC South, I have the Jaguars. I really like what they did in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, proven coach, a quarterback on the rise who I think is going to take another step. The offense was good last year. You add Calvin Ridley, it's going to be even better. Defense is young, formidable. Good things are happening with the Jaguars. They're a team that I think that they could get in the playoffs and go farther this year, right? If it clicks. So that's what I have in the AFC. For the NFC North, kind of a two. The NFC is there's very imbalance of power. AFC has the quarterbacks and better teams. NFC, it's a struggle to find quality quarterbacks past the top 3 or 4, maybe, if there's even that many, and then quality teams. As a Bears fan, look, we're not going to be very good. Now, do I think with DJ Moore coming in, I think he helps Justin Fields. I think we take a little bit of a leap, but we're still not a very good roster. I think they'll be 6-11. That's where I want us to be. That's where I think we're going to be. I'm trying to be realistic about it. We're still another draft out. We're still another free agency out. I think until we can sit back and say we're going to be good. But I think it will be a growth and exciting year to watch Justin Fields with some wide receivers. I think it's going to be fun to watch, but I don't think we're going to be very good. Then I had the Vikings at 7-10. Look, outside of Justin Jefferson, what do they have? Pretty much where I'm at with it. And then surprisingly, I have the Packers at 9-8, who I think the Packers are going to make the playoffs. I think they have a good enough defense, a team around Jordan Love. I think he's going to do just enough. They're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to go heavy into that, I believe, and give him opportunities to pass in easy situations, kind of like with Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. But I do pick the Lions to win it. I'm just like I'm sipping the Jets Kool-Aid, I am sipping the Lions Kool-Aid. I really like the Lions and what they've built, the culture Dan Campbell's built. It's contagious. People want to play there. Jared Goff proved last year why he was the number 1 overall pick. He'll prove it again this year. They just continue to build and grow. But now it'll be interesting to see how the Lions are with the spotlight on them. They're not coming for anybody now. Teams are starting to come after them. So that'll be the most interesting. In the NFC East, it's an interesting one. I think the Commanders are going to be 4-13. I think Ron Rivera, he's going to be gone after this year. I think Sam Howell's going to do some things that are fun, but they just seem like an organization that's just kind of in a weird place. Get a new owner. It just feels weird. So I picked them to finish last. Giants 8-9. I think they're going to take a step back from last year. Daniel Jones. I don't trust Daniel Jones. If you can tell, I picked a lot of these off of trust of quarterbacks and stuff. Daniel Jones not fully there. Not fully sure if you should have paid him $40 million. I have the Cowboys at 11-6. Cowboys are a good team, but they always figure out how to hurt themselves in a couple games. Dak had the most interceptions in the NFL last year. Can that calm down? But when you have a team like the Eagles in your division, it's pretty tough to beat that team. They're very talented. Jalen Hurts back. Hopefully a full season of health. They have easily top 3 roster in the NFL. It's going to take a lot to beat that team. In the West, I have the Cardinals. We all know what the Cardinals are doing. They're tanking. They're trying to be bad. They're going to be bad. 2-15 probably. They might win a little bit more. Might only win one game. But they want to be bad. And then I have the Rams at 7-10. Their roster's old. It was top heavy. They had to get rid of Jalen Ramsey. Cooper Kupp not coming into the season fully healthy. Matthew Stafford got hurt last year. He's older. Does he come back? How is he with teammate? It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs, and I think we're going to be looking at Sean McVay and, does he go to TV? And then I have the Seahawks, 9-8. I think they make the playoffs. Pete Carroll, one of the best coaches in the NFL. Geno Smith played very good last year. Staple of running backs. Good wide receivers. They're going to make it balancing. They're going to make it easy on Geno. Defense will be better than last year, and they were pretty good. So I like the Seahawks at 9-8. And then to win the division, got flies. Don't think I killed it. And then in the NFC, to win the NFC West, I have the 49ers. You look at them and the Eagles, top of the NFC, they're here. They're both here. I'm not fully sold on Brock Purdy, but look, he played great down the stretch for him last year, gets hurt in the NFC title game. We didn't get to fully see what he could have did in that moment. But I think the 49ers are going to be very, very good. But my only concern, kind of like the Chiefs, is Joey Bosa is sitting out like Chris Jones is for the 49ers. Nick Bosa, excuse me. Nick Bosa is sitting out. You need Nick Bosa. Defensive Player of the Year. One of the best players in the NFL. Top 5 player in the NFL. You need him. Your defense will be good without him, but your defense can be great with him. And then I look at the NFC South. This is going to be the division. We always have a division every year that a winner gets in with a losing record. This is going to be the South. I don't think the Panthers are very good yet. Frank Reich as a coach didn't understand it after what their coach on the stretch did last year. Hurts them. Don't think they're going to be very good. Falcons and Bucks. Falcons are in limbo. You have no quarterback. You draft skill in the last 3 first rounds of Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson. When I wouldn't have drafted Bijan, not because I don't think he's talented. I think he's very talented. But he had a 1,000-yard back that you got in the 6th round last year. Should have looked at other options. And then quarterback, Desmond Ridder, it's going to be rough. The Falcons, I don't think they're going to win the division. But it'll be interesting. They're going to win some games where it's like, what? Buccaneers, without Tom. They struggled with Tom at times last year. For most of the time, they made the playoffs, won the division, but it was a struggle to get there. You lose him. You lose a lot of what that locker room was, and guys wanting to play with Tom and a buy-in factor. And I don't. Does Baker play the whole year is the question. And then I think the Saints win it at 8-9, but they win it at 8-9. They get Derek Carr in there. Michael Thomas might come back. It's going to be one of those divisions where everybody's kind of going to beat up, and a winner's going to win it with a losing record. All right, so my playoff teams, I went down the line. 7 playoff teams, each division. Chiefs, I have the number 1 seed. Then the Bengals, Bills, Jags, Jets, Ravens, Chargers. I think it's a formidable, very formidable playoff teams. There's more, like the Steelers, you can make an argument. Are they a playoff team? The Dolphins, are they a playoff team? Broncos, are they a playoff team? Titans. So I think the AFC's problem is it's so jam-packed, and it's going to be so tough to win compared to the NFC. When you look at the NFC, I have the 49ers as number 1, Eagles as 2, both 13-4. Lions, Saints, Cowboys, Packers, Seahawks. Much different in contrast when you look at the AFC and NFC. Because there's going to be teams in the AFC that don't make the playoffs that you make an argument, are better than the teams in the NFC that make the playoff. So skipping to the AFC title game, I think it will be Bills versus Chiefs. I like the Bengals, but I also like the Bills this year. I think Von Miller is going to have a big factor when he comes back. And then the NFC title game will be a rematch of last year's NFC title game, Eagles versus 49ers. But it'll be played at the 49ers this year instead of in Philadelphia. And maybe Brock Purdy plays the whole year. That'll be interesting to see. The whole game will be interesting. But I just think in the NFC, they're the two best teams. They're going to be virgin to collide. Like, it's not if, it's just when. And then to make the Super Bowl, I think it'll be a rematch of last year's Super Bowls. I think it'll be the Eagles. I think it'll be the Chiefs. Like I said, until someone beats the man, the Chiefs are still top dog. They are still the man at the mantle. Man on the top. So until I don't see them win, it's like when I looked at the Patriots. Until I don't see them in that game, they're in the game. Eagles, when I look at quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, I trust Jalen Hurts more than I do Brock Purdy. And that's pretty much the edge I give them. I think balance, both teams can run the ball, both teams can pass the ball, both teams are great on defense. I just come down to quarterbacks. They beat them last year, with it being Christian McCaffrey playing quarterback or not. I think it'll be the Eagles. And then the team I picked to win the Super Bowl, it pains me to say it, and I know you're like, Caleb, you're probably thinking, Caleb, you've been saying to beat the man, I think the Eagles beat the man, and I think they become the man. I think the Eagles win the Super Bowl. They could have won it last year. Very tight game, very good game. I think this year they come back hungrier, better. Jalen Hurts for a full year. It feels to me like a team that's ready to go, ready to come back, and ready to win it. And I picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. All right, now when I look at MVP, Defense Player of the Year, and Coach here, I'll kind of rattle through those pretty quick. I think MVP, going with the Eagles to win Super Bowl, I'm going with Jalen Hurts to win MVP. Could have won MVP last year. I think he comes back, plays better than he did last year in a full year, and I think he wins MVP. Defensive Player of the Year, pick between a couple. Like I highly consider the two guys that are holding out, but I think it'll be Michael Parsons. I think he's going to win a lot of games for the Cowboys, and we're going to watch him and just be like, he's just so good. We have to give him the award. But if Nick Bosa was going to play the all year, might have made a different argument. I don't know if he will. So I'm going to go with Mike Parsons. And then Coach of the Year, I'm going with Matt LaFleur of the Packers. You're going to say, why Matt LaFleur? Well, when I look at the Packers, you lose Aaron Rodgers. You didn't make the playoffs last year. I think this year with Jordan Love, they're going to make the playoffs. And I think LaFleur is going to be like, look, this team is good. We didn't need Aaron Rodgers. Even though he's going to have success with the Jets, I think the Packers are going to have success. And I think we're going to really value Matt LaFleur a little bit more than we did before. That's why I'm picking him to win Coach of the Year. All right. Now moving on to picks this week. We're going to go through it really fast. I think I have 7 games. First game to kick off the season, Lions at Chiefs. Chiefs are minus 4.5 point favorite. I think they were 7 or so. Travis Kelce gets hurt. I still think the Chiefs win, but I think the Lions play tighter. I think it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game. The Lions are going to come out. I just think the Chiefs are just going to continue to roll. Bengals at Browns. Bengals minus 2.5 point favorite. I like the Bengals. I think the Browns are going to be interesting. Like I said, 8-9. But I like the Bengals. If Joe Burrow doesn't play, though, it's going to be interesting. Titans at Saints. Saints are a minus 3 point. This is a very interesting game to me. I'm going to go with the Saints to win it. Just because the Titans are, I'm not solely sold. And I think this Derek Carr with the Saints gives them a little bit more stability than Ryan Tannehill. 49ers minus 2.5 point favorite at the Steelers. I think this is a game. I think it's a game the Steelers can win. Do they win it? You know what? I'm going to go with the Steelers to win this one. It just feels like early 49ers don't really have full. Steelers win it. Raiders at Broncos. Broncos minus 3.5 point favorite. What are the Raiders going to be? Sean Payton with the Broncos. I like the Broncos to win it, but I think it's going to be close. Dolphins at Chargers. Tua healthy. Justin Herbert healthy. Start of the year. What are these teams going to be? I think it's going to be high scoring. It's going to be electric. I like the Dolphins to win it. I don't know. I just got feeling Dolphins. All right. Monday Night Football. Big game. This is going to be the game that everybody's going to talk about. Bills minus 2.5-point favorite at the Jets. Jets, Bills, Aaron Rodgers, Jets, Josh Allen, Bills, Aaron Rodgers, Jets. That's all we're going to hear. Come Monday, we're going to watch all these games, and all you're going to see is Jets, 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 because we're getting ready for this game. Tuesday, all we're going to be is how great are the Jets? How great can they be if they win? And how bad are they going to be if they lose? I think the Bills will win the early matchup, but I would not be shocked later in the year if the Jets beat them down the road. So that's going to do it for pre/week 1 of NFL on the V.O.C. Who I think makes playoff, who wins the Super Bowl, who wins the awards, picks this week. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching.